In the beginning of our knowing, we believed the universe was what our eyes could see. The night sky was a dome of fireflies, distant yet familiar, lanterns strung above the earth. For millennia, those lanterns defined the boundaries of reality. We named them, mapped them, worshipped them. And yet, the stars were liars. They gave us only crumbs of truth. For all that light has revealed, it is the weakest of messengers. It reaches us late, distorted by distance, bent by gravity, swallowed by dust. And most of all, it is scarce. Only a fraction of the cosmos bothers to shine. The rest lies in silence, unlit, unseen, waiting. Galileo lifted his crude telescope and discovered mountains on the moon, the phases of Venus, and small worlds circling Jupiter. With that glass tube, the universe suddenly grew larger than legend. Centuries later, Edwin Hubble peered through his observatory and saw galaxies beyond our own. Island universes adrift in an ocean vaster than human minds had dared to imagine. Even then, with revelation in hand, we were still staring at shadows on the wall. Decades passed. New telescopes rose above the atmosphere. One of them, Hubble's namesake, turned toward a patch of sky so empty it seemed pointless. For days it gathered faint light, photons that had traveled billions of years to reach us. And what emerged was astonishing: thousands of galaxies, hidden in a fragment of space no larger than a grain of sand held at arm's length. Each galaxy contained billions of stars, each star a potential host of planets, moons, and stories untold. And still it was not enough. In the spinning of galaxies, astronomers heard disquiet. Their stars orbited too quickly, refusing to obey gravity as Newton had described it. Something unseen held them in place, outweighing all the luminous matter combined. Vera Rubin listened to their defiance and understood. The universe was heavier than it looked. Thus was born the name. Dark matter, the invisible skeleton of creation. But even that revelation was only the beginning. In the flicker of distant supernovae came another shock. The universe was not merely expanding. It was accelerating. Space itself was being stretched, faster and faster, pushed apart by a force that could not be named. It was not matter. It was not light. It was not anything we could capture, only infer. And so we called it dark energy, a phantom that ruled the majority of the cosmos. Here lies the truth. The universe is hiding 99% of itself. The constellations, the spirals of galaxies, the luminous arcs of starlight across time. These are only ornaments upon an invisible framework. The real cosmos is built of shadows, dark matter, dark energy, and voids vaster than imagination. What we see is a fragment. What we do not see is everything. And so Act I ends where our vision began, with the realization that our eyes, though wondrous, deceive us. The cosmos has given us crumbs, and with them, we must imagine the banquet that lies beyond. The galaxies swirled too fast, whispering of a hidden hand. Their outer stars should have flown away like sparks from a wheel, yet they remained bound, circling at impossible speeds. It was as though every spiral, every glowing disk, wore an invisible cloak of gravity heavier than the light it carried. For centuries, this anomaly lingered on the edge of human knowledge, a quiet contradiction. Then came Vera Rubin. Night after night, she measured the faint glow of stars at the rims of galaxies, charting their motions with patient care. The data spoke clearly, though it defied expectation. The stars at the edges moved as swiftly as those near the core. According to Newton, according to Einstein, they should not. The galaxies themselves were whispering to her, refusing to obey. Rubin listened, and gave the whispers a name: dark matter. It was a revelation, but also a frustration. Dark matter did not shine. It did not absorb. It did not touch the instruments built to capture it. Its presence was betrayed only by its pull, its influence on the visible. Galaxies revealed it by their stubborn spin. Clusters of galaxies revealed it by bending light into ghostly arcs, gravitational lensing, the fingerprint of mass unseen. The entire universe revealed it by the way it had structured itself, not chaos, but order. Galaxies strung like beads on invisible threads. These threads, invisible yet immense, formed the cosmic web. Filaments of dark matter stretched across billions of light years, their intersections glowing faintly with galaxies trapped in the knots. Between them yawned great voids, deserts of nothingness, larger than any cluster of stars. If we could see dark matter as clearly as light, the night sky would look like lace, an intricate lattice of invisible threads, delicate and immense, holding the cosmos together. The probe, drifting through these regions, felt the truth in silence. Every cluster it passed, every arc of bent light, every restless spiral, told the same story. The universe was heavier than it appeared. The real architecture was hidden. The stars were decorations strung upon a skeleton unseen. But humanity was not content to infer. They wanted to touch the phantom directly. So they dug caverns deep beneath mountains, buried detectors in frozen mines, built chambers filled with liquid noble gases, waiting for a single particle of dark matter to collide. They listened in the silence for the faintest whisper of energy. And again, the answer was nothing. The particles, if they existed, slipped past like shadows, unwilling to betray themselves. In Geneva, the great collider smashed protons together at unimaginable speeds, hoping to create echoes of the hidden. The detectors blazed with showers of particles, thousands in every instant. But among them, the dark matter remained silent. Like a ghost too patient to appear, it waited beyond reach. And yet, the failures were not emptiness. They were maps of possibility, narrowing what dark matter could be, forcing new questions, daring new imagination. Was it made of weakly interacting massive particles? Of axions, tiny as thought itself? Or was it something stranger still? A hidden dimension folded into our own, leaking its gravity through the seams? The galaxies knew. Their swirl spoke it plainly. The cosmic web knew. Its filaments shouted it across billions of light years. But to human hands, to human machines, it remained elusive, a whisper just out of reach. Perhaps dark matter was not meant to be caught in chambers or colliders. Perhaps its nature was written only in the grandest scales, in the turning of galaxies, in the bending of light, in the architecture of all that exists. It was not a single particle, but a silent foundation, a scaffold upon which the visible universe had been built. And so, in Act 2, the truth emerges. The stars we see are bound to an invisible web. The galaxies we admire are decorations on a skeleton we cannot touch. And every spiral, every lens, every void, is whispering the same thing. You do not yet see what holds you. The universe was expected to slow down. Gravity, that oldest of companions, should have pulled gently on every star and every galaxy, tugging against expansion, restraining the outward flight born in the Big Bang. Astronomers looked outward with this expectation, that the farther a galaxy lay, the slower it would appear to move away, its momentum fading as the cosmos aged. But the light from dying stars told a different story. Teams of astronomers searched for Type Ia supernovae, those cosmic lighthouses that flare with predictable brilliance when a white dwarf star detonates. By comparing their apparent brightness to their true brightness, one could measure distance. And by measuring the redshift of their light, one could track velocity. The data trickled in from galaxies billions of light years away, carrying the final screams of exploding suns. And with each observation, the universe betrayed its secret. The distant galaxies were not slowing. They were fleeing faster than expected. Expansion was not being tamed by gravity. It was being driven, accelerated, by something unknown. The bread dough of the cosmos was not simply rising. It was swelling faster with every moment. Bubbles of galaxies drifting further apart, as though space itself were restless, eager, insatiable. This was a revelation so strange, it bordered on heresy. All of physics had assumed the cosmos was slowing down, bound eventually to stall, to collapse, or to fade. Instead, it was racing away, urged on by a hand no one could see. And so a new name was given. Simple, yet hollow, dark energy. It was unlike dark matter, which clung to galaxies and formed filaments. Dark energy did not cluster. It was smooth, diffuse, uniform, filling all of space in equal measure. It was not a particle one could hope to catch. It was not a field one could isolate. It was not even something we could truly define. It was an emptiness with weight, a vacuum with pressure. By every measure, it was the majority. 70% of everything. The probe, drifting through silence, felt its presence not as an object, but as a condition. Every calculation it made of distance, every attempt to predict the motions of galaxies, was altered by the same truth. Space was stretching faster than before. It was not an effect of stars or clusters or any visible form. It was the stage itself changing shape. Beneath the players, the galaxies whispered again, but now in chorus. We are carried on a tide. With an shore. Dark energy was not merely a hidden component of the cosmos. It was its ruler. While stars burned briefly, while galaxies lived for billions of years, dark energy endured. Patient. Unstoppable. It was not bound by clusters or filaments. It was not held within halos. It filled the void. On the void was the void. And so the realization dawned. This was the true phantom that owns the cosmos. Not the starlight we admire. Not the matter we touch. Not even the unseen scaffolding of dark matter. But a presence that cannot be touched, cannot be seen, cannot be stopped. The fate of the universe belongs to it. If it continues, galaxies will drift until they vanish from one another's sight, leaving islands of stars in endless night. If it grows stronger, even atoms may be torn apart, space itself ripped into nothing. If it fades, perhaps gravity will reclaim the cosmos in a final collapse. All destinies are written in its hand, and yet its nature remains unknown. We look outward and see galaxies glowing in the dark, but what we are truly witnessing is absence swelling between them. The stars are not moving apart through space. Space itself is expanding between the stars. This is not a story of light. It is a story of silence, of pressure without substance, of a phantom sovereign ruling a reluctant kingdom. And until we understand it, the cosmos will remain a riddle, an empire ruled by a ghost. They are everywhere, yet nowhere. Trillions pass through your body each second, born in the hearts of stars, in the cataclysms of supernovae, in the furnace of the Big Bang itself. They are neutrinos, ghost particles, indifferent to matter, blind to force, silent as shadows. They barely notice we exist. Earth, with all its mountains, oceans, and iron core, is transparent to them. They pass through uncounted, untouched. For decades, humanity built traps for them, vast underground pools of pure water or liquid scintillator, buried beneath mountains, waiting for a single, rare flash when a neutrino finally, reluctantly, collided. Those flashes were whispers, fragments of a hidden kingdom. The neutrinos streamed endlessly, invisible threads in the fabric of existence. But if neutrinos are the ghosts, then black holes are the vaults. They are not merely objects, but boundaries. A place where gravity becomes absolute, where time itself folds, where light cannot escape. To orbit a black hole is to approach the edge of no ability. Information falls in, stars, gas, even whole planets, and no signal ever returns. Yet paradoxically, they are not silent. The space around them blazes with radiation as matter spirals inward, torn and heated, shining brighter than entire galaxies. Before vanishing, they are secrets, disguised as spectacle. At the center of the Milky Way lies such a vault, Sagittarius A, a black hole 4 million times the mass of the Sun, wrapped in silence. To us, it is the ultimate horizon. Beyond it, the universe hides even the fate of its own matter. And then there are the voids, vast expanses between the filaments of the cosmic web, deserts larger than clusters of galaxies, yet containing almost nothing. To enter a void is to be surrounded by absence, by distances so enormous that even light seems reluctant to travel. If the universe is a grand city of stars, then the voids are the wilderness, stretching, empty, unforgiving. And yet, they dominate. Most of the universe is not made of galaxies, but of these hollows, this silence. If the cosmos were a body, galaxies would be its organs, but voids would be its blood, everywhere. Formless, vital in their emptiness. The voids waited, vast and silent, as though time itself moved more slowly within them. These are the hidden kingdoms. Each refuses light. Each defies perception. Neutrinos flow unseen through matter. Black holes swallow what they touch, hiding even knowledge itself. Voids stretch across eternity, containing less than almost anything, and yet shaping the whole. Together, they form the great unseen landscape of the universe. The stars we adore are tiny by comparison, mere sparks dancing at the edges of a vast and invisible dominion. Here lies the paradox of existence. The universe is not defined by what shines, but by what refuses to. The hidden 99% is not decoration. It is the stage upon which all else is performed. Without neutrinos, stars would not burn as they do. Without black holes, galaxies would lack their anchors. Without voids, the cosmic web could not stretch its filaments. The unseen rules, while the seen merely embellishes. The kingdoms of the hidden cosmos are not empty. They are power. They are memory. They are silence. And they remind us, again and again, we have only begun to see. Across centuries, humanity's greatest gift has been its ability to build new eyes. Galileo's telescope was crude, yet it peeled back a veil. Hubble's great mirror revealed galaxies beyond number. And then came its successor, the James Webb Space Telescope, unfolding like a golden flower in the cold darkness of space. Webb gazed into the infrared, reaching further back in time than any instrument before it, to an age when the first galaxies were being born. Each telescope was more than a machine. It was an extension of our own sight, our own curiosity, a way of piercing the veil of the unseen. But the veil is not easily lifted. For all the brilliance of Hubble, Webb, and the instruments yet to come, light remains our only messenger. And light tells us only part of the story. To glimpse the hidden 99%, we must look beyond photons. Future telescopes will map the universe not in visible beams, but in gravitational waves. The ripples of space itself. Already, detectors on Earth have heard them, the final cries of colliding black holes and neutron stars. Tomorrow, we will hear more. The deep music of the cosmos, echoing through spacetime. There are whispers, too, of stranger frontiers. Axions, hypothetical particles, delicate as thought, that may drift unseen in every corner of reality. Quintessence, a dynamic field, more fluid than dark energy, that might explain why the universe accelerates. Hidden dimensions, folds of space too small to perceive, leaking their influence through gravity. Each is speculation, yet each is possible. The universe has given us reason to dream larger than proof. One day, perhaps, we will practice cosmic archaeology, not with stones or bones, but with the fabric of the universe itself. We will dig into the microwave afterglow of the Big Bang, peeling back its faint ripples, until we touch the physics of creation. We will chart the invisible scaffolding of dark matter, mapping the true skeleton of galaxies. We will decipher the expansion written into the positions of distant stars, and find within it the signature of the phantom that rules the cosmos. And perhaps, in those maps, the 99% will cease to be mystery and instead become story. Until then, we stand at the threshold. What we see is dazzling, spirals of galaxies, the light of ancient suns, the glow of nebulae birthing new stars. But what we do not see is larger still. The cosmos has not hidden itself in malice. It has only grown faster than our senses. Perhaps the universe has not hidden itself at all. Perhaps we are simply too young to see. And so the journey ends where it began, beneath a sky of stars. But now we know, those stars are only the crumbs of truth. The banquet lies in the dark. And one day, with patience and courage, we will taste it.